Hello and welcome to this review for Transformers Studio Series 109 Concept Art Megatron. Now, as you can see with the box here, is labeled under the Bumblebee, not subline, but like sub-collection. And it's because this actually is supposed to represent Megatron as he would have appeared if he was to appear in the Bumblebee movie. Now, that scene was removed apparently during the storyboard phase. Travis Knight had written about it. And what he wrote at the time was that it was because Paramount wasn't sure what to do with the timeline, so it was removed in case they wanted to keep it within the whole Bayverse thing. And of course, it wouldn't make sense if he was on Cybertron and instead of being frozen in ice. But the timeline's screwed up regardless, so I don't know. I would have liked to see it, but in any case, we do have the toy. And I think it's glorious looking. We're going to bring it up close. So you can see his noggin here. There you go. So extremely detailed. What's fun though is that this is, like a lot of people are saying, this is what many would have liked to see originally with the live action movie designs. So as you can tell, he still has like that whole bucket kind of helmet, right? And even the legs are thick, representing not necessarily like similar to like the G1 when that was supposed to be the handle of the gun, things like that. So you're seeing a bit of that here. He even has like the hip skirts that we see sometimes too. So in any case, there's some elements. Of course, he's got metal gray, he's the right colors, but of course with all the greebling and extra bits, which I think are really, really well detailed. And I'll show it to you here. So one thing to consider, well, how do I say this? This review will be a bit atypical because I'm going to go around a lot with if he's supposed to be leader. Because an issue that some people have, and I'll show it to you now, is we compare it to, let's say, Voyager. He's not that much bigger. He's definitely bigger, so he wouldn't sell at a Voyager price tag at all. But he's also, not like the leaders of old, which I'm going to bring here. All right, so we have like this is the first leader in the Generations line, right? Jetfire. So he's much smaller than that. Right? If we compare it to like another Voyager, we'll have here Soundwave. He is much bigger than Soundwave, but is he leader? Right? That's the whole idea. Even like here, even a Studio Series leader, which towers over him. Right? So does that mean that he's still worth the price? I think he is, and I'll show you why. And I'll bring some good examples out here. So I also have this guy that was also leader class. However, at the time of release, he wasn't, people weren't too hyped up about him being a leader either, especially since he was a retool of a Voyager class figure. But in any case, what I want to get through is why, to me, he's still very much worth the leader class price point, and why I think he's a better toy than either of these two leaders here. Like I preferred having spent a leader price point on him than I did on Jetfire and on Shockwave. Granted, I didn't, and I don't think most people did spend the leader price tag on Jetfire. But in any case, the idea is if we were to all spend the same amount of money on these leaders, which one would I rather pick? And it'd definitely be him. And I'll show you why. So, I was talking about the details. And I can show you them here. This guy is really painted super well. So yes, like with the head sculpt that we have here, he does have very tiny amount of red on the eyes, but it is all fully painted elsewhere. So you have the nice silver. You have here silver detailing. So like some aspects are painted, some are not, but it makes for a really cool result. Same for what you see here, right? With the arm. So the parts that aren't painted, like I said, it creates a contrast, right? Same for the arm here, where you have parts that aren't painted. Once again, creates contrast. In this case, you have red on the black, and on top of that, you have silver on the tooth for extra details. Speaking of which, here I think it's like I really love the chest. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's like the way that it's the paint is done onto it. It's kind of like that pan lining, but in this case, it's even like the little dots that you see come out. It's really, really well done. Sorry for gushing over it, but like it's rare. How can I say? This is a kind of figure that you like. Okay, let's say this is we're talking action figures. This is like the Mafex of like Transformers instead of it being just the Marvel Legends version, right? That's how I'd see it. Okay, you also have like all these painted details here. Here, the difference between the red and red, we'll say burgundy, with the silver as well. right? And of course, on both sides, you even have like this little detail here that's painted on his cannon. And go, the legs are the same kind of motif with the mix of silver, once again, with the really cool, like, not necessarily panel lining, but you see what I mean. Also with silver here and the red. Okay, and even goes down to the feet. Even the feet are painted. So like, it's really, really beautiful stuff. And it's like, it's detailing too. So you see this part is highlighted while this one's not. So like, once again, so that's really well done. Now you can see a whole 360 of him. There is no gaps anywhere on this toy. Right? He does not look nor feel cheap. And yeah, he looks really solid. Obviously, the fact that he's nice and sleek is a detriment to his alt modes, which we'll get to eventually. Before I do have a bit more to talk about. So that was just the painted detail, right? Now it comes to the feel, solid feel. The way I hold these, no joke, this feels more solid than this. It does. In this case, talking about like gaps, I had to spend extra money to get some gap fillers, to fill in the gap that, like, this was hollow before, right? Same for here in the arms. You got none of that here. None. Right? No gaps anywhere. No gaps anywhere. Just a really nice premium feeling figure. Of course, like I said, it's because we're paying the price. You're seeing where the money is, right? Same amount of money could be for either. This one's a bit shorter, and yet costs the same amount. Why? Well, there's that. Another thing I want to show you is the parts count. So, this is a liter from 10 years ago. So when people say like toys weren't done like they were back then, so this 10 years ago would be around, fair enough. So this guy, back 10 years ago, his arm articulation was 4 points. You had the shoulder like this going 1, here 2, 3, 4 for the elbow. So swivel and elbow, that's 4 altogether. You'll notice no wrist articulation whatsoever. Now comparison, we've got this Megatron here. So the same 4 points, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Now added to that, you got a butterfly joint, right? So he can, I don't know what you could do. Maybe if you had to hold a sword, right? You need that for those kinds of figures, but he has it. You can do whatever you want to do with that. Okay, so that's an extra one. So 5. Then, while he does have the swivel here, he has another swivel at the forearm. So 6. And then added to that, you've got the wrist articulation, 7. And this is the crazy part, okay? So his fingers, the index has its own 2 points of articulation, 8, 9. And then the other fingers too, so 10, 11. And I don't know if you want to count, I'm not going to count it, but he has like this, I mean, his wrist can also swivel that way. Well, look, we'll count it, okay? For fun. Let's go crazy. Let's go nuts. Okay? You want to get nuts? Anyways, so that makes it 12. So 4 points of articulation for the entire shoulder, arm to wrist. And he's got 12 in comparison. So, every single one of those joints is an extra part, right? This whole bit is one part. This whole bit is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 8 parts. So you got 8 parts instead of 1. Right away you see where all the costs go. And honestly, I'd rather handle this guy with posing than this guy. In any case, I mean, is it fair to compare toys from 10 years ago? It's you can say it's not, and that's totally fair. I mean, it's fair for you to say that. What I'm trying to show is that toys from 10 years ago, while maybe a bit bigger, we definitely see where all that money's going now. I don't feel I'm ripped off. At least in terms of the robot mode. In terms of the alt modes, it ends up being a bit crazy. So, that's what we'll get to. Before that, we'll do some more size comparisons. Let me bring this down, right? So, like we had Megatron before, right? 4G class. Here we got Soundwave. Yeah, we'll do it one at a time, right? MGO style. So, Soundwave. I think they look great like that. We've also got here Bumblebee. I'm going to remove this here and bring in Optimus. So he's definitely bigger than all of them. That's not really a point of contention. So it looks good in terms of the scale, even though we never technically saw him. And here is Shatter. Now, another cool thing I want to show you guys, and we'll start with the functionality of this toy. So yeah, I showed you the articulation. He can do a bunch of cool poses. The one I like to do, let's see, especially when you have an index, is to point right like this. Right, I like this. This is always fun. This is always super fun. I love that stuff. Okay, now, in terms of this here, so the cannon can be mounted onto his back for storage. What you do is you turn around, you have those two, can you see them? Yeah, there you go. So it shows those two holes. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this here, you're gonna disconnect that here, let it go. Then you have to rotate this, like just this too has a bunch of crazy parts. So this rotates, right? You have to line it up so it's exactly at this hole. And then you put that in, and then he can store it like so. While doing this, I noticed something fun. I noticed that I could just take it like this and do it the other way. Here, I'll show you what I mean. This I found pretty fun. So I could just turn around, do like this. And I don't know if you'll see where I'm going with this. So you got that. Here, I'm gonna bring the camera a bit more up. And then I'm gonna take the fusion cannon from Siege Megatron and put it here. Huh? And won't you look at that? And doesn't that look like a cool G1 Megatron? I'm gonna his finger. There you go. Yeah. I think it looks really cool. Looks closer. There you go. I think this looks really awesome. Really nice. Okay. Now, oh yeah, if you see, like, it's, while we're not entirely, the picture is a bit darker than what he looks like. I don't know if it's because I'm having the light reflecting, but for example, I'll show you this here. If you want to see, there, it's this. This is how he looks like most of the time, depending on how the light reflects, right? Since you got that gunmetal gray, that silver, but this is kind of like what I see. I'm gonna put it back the other way. That's gonna be more standard. Or you know what? We'll like leave it like this. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, but this is how this gives you a better idea of exactly how you would look like if you had it in hand. I'm gonna remove this, and we'll get to transformation. All right, now the transformations are. They're a lot of work for something that I won't be doing much again. I'm just doing it for the review. He goes from robot to tank, and then tank to jet. At least that's how the instructions have it. That's what we'll do. And the first thing that you do is you have to hide his wrists in. Now this might be a little tricky, but you want to make sure you have it all the way down. Oh, you know what I'm gonna here. Wait. There you go. A bit better. Like that's gonna focus better. So even then I didn't get it. It has to be, yeah, exactly. Why am I not getting the fist? He's not fisting right. Let's see. Will this work? Yeah, that worked. Good. Now this side here, same thing. Open this up. Now, feels like the monkey's paw on The Simpsons, if you know what I'm referring to. That's better. All right. Next. So basically, the tank is like the treads are here. The arms will be going the back. So we'll deal with the arms and unhook them. Right, this whole section goes like so. This brings it up. this section goes up as well. I'm going to turn the head, and this I'm going to move all the way back. There's two, not levers, but like there's two sections for that accordion, that, you know, accordion type of transformation where it goes in the back. Now we flip it like so, and that gives it the front of our tank. Now, what they want you to do as well, and I don't think it adds much, but there is these panels here, and they're only used for the tank mode. So that's the only time when they come in, and they're like one of the few details, aside from, I guess, the treads that you see in this mode and that aren't used in the other ones. So it gives you that kind of appearance. I'm gonna bring the camera just a little bit down. There you go. Okay, that's the arms. Now I'm not gonna deal with them, deal with them at the end for the cannon. Now for the legs, what you do is, and this will look similar to if you've had, well, Siege Megatron, which I, for example, showed, because he's also becomes like some kind of tank. So you're gonna, here, these bring forwards, just so that you have that cleared, and this opens up. I don't know why it's so tight. There. So this kind of thing. I mean, like I said, if you have a tank transformer, you've seen this kind of transformation. All right, now we're gonna bring these forwards, right, the legs. And now the leg transformation is not bad, it's pretty good. You're gonna open this up, and you're gonna flip this. So this will be flipped entirely. It's very, very tight. A lot of the joints here are tight, which is I guess, great QC if you like that, but that just means that it's a bit tougher of a transformation. Now, this part here, the threads have to be removed. And like I said, everything's tight. Everything is very, very tight. Now you bring the foot down. You know what? Take the entire wing thing, push it, so that you have more space. Now what you're gonna do is, this has to recede to the back a bit. You see that? And now you have this kind of peg. You have a hole on top here, and that's where it's gonna go. And now the instructions for some reason are like really big on this other, I don't know if you see at this point, peg here, but it's nothing to do with just, it's always gonna land in the same spot as long as you get that one in. This doesn't matter. Okay, you do the same on the other side. So we're gonna flip this all the way, get out of the way. Take it out, put the foot in, recede like an accordion, and like so. All right, good. I'm gonna push that back, push this back. And now you can see it taking shape. Now all you do is you have a hole here, you have that peg, and it fits in like so. It's a very simple transformation. It's just the, you know, very tight, and there's all those pegs you have to make sure you get in. Now for this part, well first I'll just put the gun in, and I'll show you. There's actually two things you could do here. The idea here is that you have to, here you go, like you saw, you bring the shoulders in like this, and then you're going to rotate the arm so that the part where you had the flap is outwards. Like that, you have this in the middle, right? And you're going to add, oh, not this. This gun. It's a way better gun. I'm going to turn the barrel a bit. Here, oh yeah, and everything. Forgot. So what you have to do is you have to undo this area and put it back. Like that, you end up having, see the two sides end up being like symmetrical with the peg. Okay. And then you're going to turn it so that that's how I like it, where you have like the, I actually don't know how you call this, but this part here at the top, right, upwards. Yeah, sorry, I'm not a gun enthusiast. And the other thing you do is, you see in the back there is that peg. If you just plug it in, there's actually an area here where the peg's gonna enter. So they end up being like, there's some friction. It's not perfect, but it does end up closing. So that's what you want. Now this part here, I'll show it to you. What the instructions say is to bring this all the way to the back. and it does actually have a peg where you fasten it, and that's basically what the tank looks like. Now, I don't like this because of the protruding chest. I think this is an eyesore, and what I don't like is not just that it's prominent, but it's prominently like robot kibble. Plus, you have the head. So what I recommend you doing, this is just my modification, is, like I told you, you have like two, right? Two, I don't know if you call them panels, but two sections, right? So you fold it upon the first section. Like that, the turret becomes more centralized to the tank. So it still looks like, it still doesn't look phenomenal, but at least I think this looks better. And yes, the turret does turn, right? So like, because of the turret, especially the turning, I feel that it being more centrally placed works better. It looks less awkward from the back. If you had it all the way in the back, it would look really weird. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, it would look like this, okay? I don't like this. So look, do as you wish, but it's just a little modification that I think works. And yes, well, you do see pegs here. No, they don't fasten anywhere, and that's normal because you want the turret to turn. And everything you could do is you could also tilt it upwards, tilt it lower, and that's the tank mode. Oh, wait, no, forgot one thing. There's one last thing. Forgot about that. And it's not much, but these in the back, these treads are actually tighter than a nun's butthole. So you have to pull them, especially the first time. They're a bit easier after, but okay. So like, it wasn't a huge difference, but at least, you have that area that you don't see in the robot mode that you don't see in any other mode. So that's that. Oh, another thing is when you are, the way that you have this facing makes a difference. You want the gray to be the one that you see, not the black. The black is for on top, okay? And that's it. That's the tank mode. And now we're gonna get to the jet mode. So from here, the hands can, I don't know, I'll disconnect this one so it doesn't give us as much of an issue. And yes, you undo it like so. Now this part I find very fun. So what you do is you're gonna take this bit and you're gonna undo it, and it actually gives you like a nose cone for a jet. Right? I think it's pretty nifty. Too bad, like from beginning it looked like it could be promising. In the end, anyway, you'll see the result. But I do like that. So that is one part that no other mode has. And then what you do is you bring the head up to be able to turn it, because now you want to hide it from the bottom. And you bring it upwards. It will be covered, but you don't. But since it's a plane, and I mean with a tank you can have it, it's the other way around, because in a tank you're looking from it from the top down, and with a jet you may happen to see it flying above you, right? So that's how you do it. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna unhook the legs, you're gonna open the skirt flaps, and you're going to bring them back as if you were turning him into robot mode. Which is why from robot to jet, it's probably simpler, but in this case they went from tank to jet. But anyway, you can see now how you'll see how from robot to jet would work, because at this point the legs are all almost done like they were before. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we are gonna bring the hip skirts up like so. Okay. Keep them clear for now, and now we're gonna deal with the legs. Wait, no, you know what? No, we're gonna deal with the the chest, the back part, which is this would be the back part. So what you do, and I think it's a really nice effect. You bring it down like so. I'll show you again, because there's two pieces, right? Once again, it's like accordion type. There's a lot of that kind of transformation. So you have, right, these two pieces, 1, 2, and you bring one down to the back and the other one forwards, and it gives like this. Like I said, the head ends up not being seen anymore. So it looks like this. Now we're going to go to the bottom. I'm just going to bring the arms back like so. Okay. I'm going to rotate the cannon this for now, just to clear it, and that is how we're going to end up. It's going to be positioned at the end. It'll be like so. But the important part is the legs now. So what we're going to do is, yeah, bring back down, like I did those visible treads from before. And we're gonna unhook the foot from the treads, right, like so. And we are going to flip this tread part like this, and what it does is it becomes, if you can see it, it becomes a thruster. We're going to swing in the other side, so we're going to unhook it, and we're going to unwind it or flip it, right, like this. Now this peg will fit in, if you can see it, in that hole. Before we're using this one, now we're using this. Okay. And yes, it may click, it might not, depends on your version. Good. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this like so. Wait, am I doing it correctly? Just want to make sure. No, you know what? It is not this way. It is like this. My bad. So you want the black to be showing. I'm just making sure. Yeah, that's correct. And I'll tell you why. Because the bottom here, these bits actually have a tab, and that will fit into this hole. Now, what we do while we're in this area, like once again, if ever you can take the arms out of the way, do it so that it's easier for you. You're going to take this part, flip it outward on both sides, and you're going to bring this way. Okay, so you're going to bring this down like so. I'll show you the view from the other side. You can kind of see how the jet's coming into shape. It's like this, okay? And now everything is going to start snapping in together. So like I showed you, we had before these, I don't know if you'd call them skirt pieces, but they tab in. They tab in well. So those are tabbed in now. And now this tabs in two areas here. There is a peg at the bottom here, and there is a peg on top, and both will peg in. And yes, you should hear it. Come on. See, this one fit. Both fit well. This on this side, I don't know why it's not. I'm sorry about this. Let me see. We were very close. There you go. It fit. It was just. Now I'm gonna extend this wing piece. Extend that wing piece. Yes, both got undone, but it's fine. You can just. That's not a problem. Putting them back in is not a major issue. Come on. Okay, that's one done. Because you can use the foot's articulation to get the right angle. Okay, good. Everything's pegged in. All right, now the bottom here still looks like a mess. And you know what? You do whatever you want in this part, because the instructions aren't, like, they're not super clear. And even this piece here is meant to come off. It's not supposed to stay there the whole time. The only bit that's important is that you have these, maybe you can see it here, that peg hole, which will go into these pegs, the ones that we saw more prominently in tank mode. And that's supposed to insert itself here so that the bottom part stays stuck to the top. But in mine, it just always comes off. I am not a fan of that. Now, if you want, you can peg this in like we did in the tank mode, and you have your cannon. So essentially, this is what the jet mode would look like. Right, like this. And yeah, as you can see, mine is still loose because I did not peg this part in. But I'm okay. Oh yeah, sorry. What they do want you to do is this part here, the ones that were once the knee guards or knee pads are more extended, so it looks like this, which could be cool, but I personally prefer to bring them all the way so that it makes it look, and that's what I prefer. You don't have to do it that way. I actually think it works well with the look to make it more uniform, right? More cohesive, as if we're trying to make something that's more cohesive. But yeah, this is essentially the jet mode. I mean, not essentially, this is the jet mode. Now, one thing you can do, like I was saying, it doesn't really matter if you stick this in or not, because this is meant to not be in there all the time. You can just remove it if you want. And if you want, you can place it at the top. So here, what I don't find fun is that it's not centered. If you look at this angle, it doesn't really matter. But this is what they're saying you could do. So that would be the look that Hasbro recommends, at least in the instructions. Or you could just, like I said, take it out. You could have this jet mode. Not my favorite. I prefer the tank. And if you could look online, there are... actually, in this way, it's not bad. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Batwing in a way. Nah, that's just me. You could look online. There are also these fan modes for a gun. However, those, I mean, none of the pegs are made for that, so it's very loose. In any case, that's my review. I hope it helped. And I still think it's a good toy. I'm very glad to have spent this money on it. I feel I get more for my money in terms of the quality and the look. I mean, especially of the robot mode, compared to other leaders in the Generations line in the past. But that's just me. In any case, I hope this review helps, and I wish you all a great day. Bye.